All right. So this is just a test run. Lee, do you not have a webcam or anything or
No, I don't.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Uh
sorry. No, don't have a webcam. Never have had one actually.
okay. Well that's fine because right now we're just doing a test run right now just to get all the bugs out. Um but but yeah, what I wanted to do well apart from just you know learning how to work Zoom because I've never done this before. But I also just wanted to just just hammer out the kinks of what we want to do with this movie podcast. Now I know that this is something that we've kind of kind of messed with over the past few years and nothing took. But since we now have a channel and we now actually have content on it and more than 100 videos on that channel, I figured this would be a perfect step to kind of add something else to it.
Sure.
um
Yeah.
what what I what also kind of threw me off was the fact that there wasn't really much of a hook when it came, or a gimmick I should say, when it came to this movie podcast. But and you'll probably remember this conversation. It was when you were asking me to name, I think was it top 5 or top 10 movies.
Yes,
and
this is top five. Yes.
and and all of my choices, you kind of looked at me like I grew a second head right then and there.
It did seem odd
and
compared to
and the way and the way that you reacted and the way you kind of went off, I was like, wow, he's really pontificating here. He's like some sort of movie pope. And that sort of clicked. I was like, huh, Lee Suchek is the movie pope. He's actually telling me why my choices are so off. But to be fair, my choices are a bit hipster-ish if you think about it, because
they're definitely not the traditional what I would expect. Like if someone was like, especially because like I said, you've seen a ton of movies. Like you're not like a normal moviegoer.
well
Like I
well
would
well
say
I'll,
you've seen
well
a
I'll put it I'll,
ton.
I'll put it this way. I'm A lot of the movies I see are older movies. Some of these movies are older than me. Let's put it that way.
That's fair. That's
Where,
fair.
whereas a lot of the movies that you've seen, we were conscious. Let's put it that way. Like we were sort of aware of it. I mean, Predator, for instance, that came out the same year I was born. So you know, it's contemporaneous as opposed to say Zulu, which I was definitely not around.
Hey,
When
Zulu's a
that
great
came out.
movie.
It is
That's a
a
good
great
movie.
movie. It is a great movie. But right now, I just want to like just hammer out some of the details. I'm recording this meeting, by the way, just so I can check and play back just to see how that looks. Um, but I did get the intro edited, so we've got the intro sorted out. I wanted to get your thoughts. I just wanted to see what your approach would be, because I think I emailed you like a basic idea of what I had in mind. I just wanted to see if that works, or if there was something else you wanted to add to it, or if there was like a different angle you wanted to go with. Because I definitely think movie pope is apropos towards you, because even though I majored in film, I always find myself deferring to you when it comes to movies. Um, and sometimes I kind of get the feeling that if Lee doesn't approve of it, maybe he was right about that, because there have been some movies where I've seen and then I was like, I think Lee would have had a harsh take on that. And honestly, it was a huge waste of my time. That's 2 hours I'm never gonna get back because of that. But yeah, just let's just discuss on what your views
Sure.
are.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's kind of a cool thing. I guess I kind of envision it as us more like talking as normal, and then maybe like the final sequence or the ending sequence is more of the movie pope idea. Like
Okay.
I don't want to like personify like the
No,
movie
yeah,
pope,
yeah, yeah.
the whole thing, because it just feels kind of like I don't want to come off as being very like I don't want to be like pushing anything. Like I just kind of enjoy just the normal conversation, but I definitely don't mind that idea of being the movie popeness for that one section. So
It's kind of
I
an
guess it
inside joke if you think about it.
yes, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um,
So
And actually kind of works pretty well with the Zoom format because it just makes it easier on everybody. I remember before when we tried doing it, we had to like get all these cameras and lug them around and all that stuff. And I was like,
Sure.
it's just too much. But I've been watching a lot of podcasts where people have just done Zoom, and I was like, oh my God, this is so simple. Why have we not done this?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah. I was thinking, and I know this is maybe not super on topic, but like since we already kind of have characters from the Bushwhackers, why don't we just use our avatars as opposed to being on camera?
Yeah, that's something we can definitely
Yeah,
do.
I'm just because, like I said, I think that because I think that's always the challenge when you're on camera. Like I'd have to have something that blocks the back,
Yeah.
for everything. So I think like since we already have kind of like our own characters like already generated, it kind of just I think continues with the whole Bushwhackers thing that even though we're not doing kind of the
Yeah,
crazy
exactly.
antics, our characters still being a part of like the discussion. So
I a thought did occur to me earlier this week when I saw a trailer for shit. What was it? It was a movie that made me scratch my head, made me think, wow, really? That they had a trailer for that? But I was just wondering, like, I was just thinking about doing like a trailer reaction and just being like, huh, I wonder
sure,
if I think for that one, I kind of feel like maybe it would be good to kind of like just get like an organic reaction, but like but like regular discussions, we could just use our avatars on that one.
sure. No, I like that. Yeah, because like I think we could probably pick some. And I think we could probably pick some like very awkward trailers too. Probably for movies that are maybe not as much mainstream. Or like I said, we could always do that. Like maybe we could, have Oppenheimer, or like I said, we have
Oh, I
the
know.
Dracula movie that you mentioned,
Oh,
right?
oh,
So,
I know what trailer it was. It was Blue Beetle. That was what I was
oh
thinking about.
yes,
I was watching. I'm like, really? That came out. I had totally forgot that was even a movie. I was like,
yeah,
huh, that flew right under my radar.
yep, yeah. And like I said, I don't know too much about like I've seen the character, like I've seen some of like the Justice League stuff, the animated stuff, and I've seen Blue Beetle before. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's always come across as like it always felt kind of like odd to me because it's like he has like this like almost like an organic life form that's attached to him, which is really weird. It's kind of like an alien, you have a face hugger attached to you, but
But
the
it's on
face
your
hugger gives
back.
him special powers and not siphoning out his.
Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Peter Parker when he wore that Iron Spider suit.
Yeah, yeah, no,
That's
I can see
exactly
that.
that's exactly what it is. It's basically a Latino guy with an alien bug that makes him Iron Beetle, basically. But
Yep. Do you remember who was the I felt who was the dad that was in that?
why did he look familiar?
Yeah, he kind of looked familiar, but I don't remember now. I maybe he wasn't.
Gosh,
I did see the trailer once. Let's see here.
oh, it's George Lopez.
Yes, yes. I was just like, wow, talk about like not expecting to see him pop up in it. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So yeah, George Lopez was in it as well as Susan Sarandon. So, like I said, kind of some interesting casting things there. So
But yeah, another thing I wanted to discuss because I'm totally cool with us using avatars. I mean, this is gonna sound weird. I watch a lot of watch reviewing podcasts, and a lot of them are just it's just audio basically. Um, but I was tinkering around with Zoom, and I definitely want to not only have this on YouTube, but also start uploading these podcasts onto like Spotify, Apple, Google, all that stuff, just so we can get the exposure out there. Because at least that way we get exposure to not only the podcast but also the channel as well, which which is as someone, if only we can get more viewers. If only we could do that.
well, like I said, I think that's I guess we could always like incorporate like if we do, and I'm not sure how the Zoom thing's up, but like I think like an easy thing for trailer, we could play the trailer during the Zoom thing, and we
Yeah,
could just
yeah,
audio over it.
yeah.
Um,
Basically, the way I envision it right now is if we do a trailer reaction, it would be us there, or I would do something in editing to just put the trailer up and then we would just
Sure.
discuss it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer right
Yeah.
there.
Do you know how to play? And I know you're new to Zoom, right? So is there a way for us to? Oh, there is a share screen feature. I
Yeah.
wonder if that would be how we would um do like the trailer. So if we have a trailer open in a tab, then we just share that screen and that'll show that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can definitely do that. I mean,
Okay. No,
that's
no,
not.
yeah, I was just thinking about like just to make your life easier as opposed to like having to edit something. There might be an easy way for Zoom to do it because
Yeah,
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 I think
yeah.
about
You could. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty prominent right there. I think I can also give you screen sharing. Yeah,
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think it looks like I could just kind of
yeah. So I just made it. I just made it all participants. So it doesn't necessarily have to be me who's doing it. It could also be you who does
yes,
that.
yep, yeah, yeah. Because I think like a lot of guys like, have you ever seen Mr. Sunday Movies?
Some of those, yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of like watch it just because like they're just two like really like they're just like two fun personalities, but they kind of have like the premise of like neither one of them are really on screen, and like even like the Critical Drinker, I don't know if you listen to him.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. You definitely don't see him, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you'll see the Drinker more, but then like he does do a lot of different things with other people, and sometimes, like I said, they just have like their like avatars on the screen. You're not actually physically seeing them. So like just I think something like that. I think just kind of eliminates some of the challenges that come from doing something. So
yeah. So I mean, I mean, I can definitely just I mean, obviously, I've got the drawings on.
mm-hmm,
Sorry, we can just post it up like that.
mm-hmm.
Um, so the next thing I want to just go over is, are we doing like, do we want to do like a mix of movies we like and movies we hate, or are we doing like the
Yes,
movie of the week, or what? Because I know,
yeah,
because I definitely know, I'm definitely like 80% certain we will talk about Guardians Volume 3
sure,
because it's
yep,
fresh on our mind.
yes. Yep, no, I mean that makes sense. Like, we could maybe yeah, I think that would work. Yeah, I mean if there's something and yeah, I'm totally okay with us mixing, positive and negative movies. I don't think it always has to be negative. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'll definitely defer to you on the matter, just because I've already got enough on my plate as it is when it comes to like managing doing the product. That way, we're kind of bearing the load equally, where I'll handle the technical side and then you can handle the content side. You know,
Luca, by the way, I noticed something, and I don't know if you're noticing on my side. I noticed like your audio kind of fades sometimes.
it's because I'm moving around. Is that better?
No, no, no. Like it's definitely like an issue with the audio. Like you'll sound really crisp, but then all of a sudden it'll kind of go out.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah. I don't. It's a technical thing. I don't think it's like your position or like anything like that. Like I just been noticing that. Maybe like if you do rewatch this, that might I would see if maybe you pick up on that because I've
Okay.
noticed that in a few situations where it just seems like the audio kind of like cuts out a little bit. There's a few times where it totally cut out, and then there's other times where like you got really quiet, and it wasn't because of like your like pitch or anything. It just was something to do with the mic. So I just want to throw that out there. That might be something technically.
Okay, okay, just keep me up to just let me know if I'm doing it again. I'm just gonna mess with the controls here.
Sure.
How's that?
Yeah, that sounds fine so far. I haven't noticed
Okay,
anything odd.
okay. Um, so but yeah, what I was saying to handle the production
Yeah,
side.
it
So
just
what?
cut out again. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. How about now?
Okay, that sounds. You sound very strong now. So
Okay, yeah, I had to go in there and just adjust something.
okay.
Saying was What since I would mainly just handle the production side, the editing, starting the Zoom meetings and everything. I can defer to you to choose the movie topic that we will be discussing for that session. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, I could definitely see. Yeah, I think once we kind of get in the flow, that shouldn't be an issue. We can kind of figure out the best way to handle kind of the discussions and everything like that. So that should be fine.
So another thing I wanted to bring up was how often do we want to do this? Do we want to like do it like every week, every other week, monthly, like how would you envision it? Because I know because I know with your work schedule sometimes things can get a bit hectic. I know the fall is a bit. Well, no, you're not doing the insurance sales anymore, so I don't.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So luckily, I don't think that that will be as much of an issue. I think I guess it depends on how long the like. I would say every 2 weeks.
Okay. Because
Um.
because another thing that occurred to me also was what was on my end anyway is I'm part of I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups that with filmmakers and actors. Maybe maybe in between those weeks when we're not reviewing a movie, maybe I can have guests on to like discuss their work and stuff. Like because I went to school with a lot of filmmakers and some are doing some pretty cool things right now. So I would like to have, maybe
Sure.
have like an episode where they can just like come on and just discuss, do like an interview kind of thing, and
Yeah.
then the week after it, we would just review what I don't know, Oppenheimer, you know,
Sure.
and and,
Yeah.
and it kind of works too because if we do it every 2 weeks, maybe that gives us enough time to to see the movie and come and actually develop some pretty cogent thoughts
Exactly.
'cause-
Yeah. Because I think regardless of what we're talking about, like even if it's some like I think we know movies pretty well, but like certainly I think, I would want to revisit something before I start talking about it just to kind of have it fresh in my mind, unless it's something I've seen a bajillion times. But I
yeah.
think like giving us enough flexibility to be able to kind of figure out like what movie it is, give us time to watch it, I think will be good. This way, it's not like, we're trying to go take everything off of memory because then it's always a little bit more of a challenge. So,
So another thing too is I imagine imagine it to be some sort of like organic discussion. I don't
yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
don't.
not I'm not really big on scripted now. If there's like a certain theme that stands out, we can discuss that. But for me, I kind of feel like because because I have been doing the Bushwhackers breakdown podcast where I would just do like the summary first of
Mhm.
like what happened in the episode and then kind of give my take about what influences. So maybe I was thinking about, we kind of like give a brief overview about what the movie's about, like maybe
Mhm.
2 minutes, and then we just go into what we thought and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, in a podcast thing, it wouldn't make sense to have a script, so I'm fine with that. So we would just go off of whatever we wanted to chat about. So yeah,
Uh,
that's fine. That makes sense to have a brief synopsis, and then we could just discuss.
so so that we would definitely be open to doing both movies and TV shows because I know
Yep.
because it would make sense because I mean obviously we watch a lot of shows on the streaming services, um particularly Disney, because I know in the next few months Disney's gearing up for a lot of Star Wars and Marvel shows.
Yeah. Ugh. Can't wait
So
to waste my time with that shit. That's gonna suck. So, but whatever. Yes,
yeah, I mean,
I always end up doing it, even though I know it's not gonna be good. So,
hey, you want to talk about wasting time? You know what I watched yesterday for the third
what?
time? Werewolf by Night.
Why you keep watching that? Like, I remember
I
the
don't
first time you
know.
discussed it, you're like, "This was stupid," and then like now it's like, you know what I watched? I watched Werewolf by Night again.
I mean, I was just sitting there at like 9 o'clock, twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, huh. I definitely don't have time to watch a movie. I know. I'll watch Werewolf by Night again. I don't know why I keep going back to it. I just do. It's just it's just I don't know. It's the same reason why sometimes, when I'm feeling a bit bored, sometimes I will go back and watch, Avengers Endgame, for instance, if I have time to kill. You know what a few months ago, what I did was I actually watched Alexander, the what was it, the director's cut version.
Oh Jesus, how long was that?
I think it was I think it clocked in close to 4 hours, dude.
I'm not surprised. I felt like the movie was pretty long.
No,
So
no, the movie was 3 hours. What they did, I think, was
holy shit.
I think they
God,
tacked I think they tacked on like another hour because there was like extra footage that Oliver Stone, felt was pertinent to the story. And this is no joke. Like an hour in, I kind of nodded off. I woke up like an hour and 15 minutes later, and it was still going on. And then the intermission came, and then it kept going. And I'm like, I'm not learning anything about Alexander here. I'm just learning that Colin Farrell. There's some movies that Colin Farrell should not be in, and this is one of them. Um, it,
all I remember is that like clearly everyone wanted to get with Angelina Jolie, so even Alexander. So
I mean, it was incest before it became a thing. I remember this is before Game of Thrones, so so I mean, it blazed a trail for wanting to sleep with members of your family. Another thing I want to ask you too. Do you also want to incorporate like news stories of the week, that was something that crossed my mind, because I know sometimes there'll be like things in the news that come out that I just feel like, I wonder what Lee thinks about that. For instance, a few weeks ago, I read about them developing a Twilight series, and then I think like a few weeks before that, they were talking about doing a Harry Potter series,
mm-hmm.
because God, how many movies did they make for Harry Potter? Like eight or
Eight,
10?
yeah, right. Because there's 7 books, and then they split up the second one into 2 movies. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
8. So
so I was like, they've done enough with the series. They just need to let it die. But
no,
no,
no, it's no. You have to make a. Didn't they say it was like 10 years or something? They already had like 10 years of the series going to be coming up based upon the books.
was it set 10 years before Harry Potter, or
Oh
what?
no, no,
Because
I'm talking about like they already have it like mapped out that they're gonna have this series for over 8 years. I'm sorry, this.
the series or the universe? Because 10 years is a long time for a TV series. I mean,
I agree with you, but that's what they wanted to do.
and
They're already.
now if they were doing this back now if they were doing this back like in the 90s, early 2000s, that would make sense, because God, TV shows used to go on forever and ever. I mean, you remember Friends, that ran for 10 years, but now, like, I mean, you'll be lucky if you get 2 years. Um, doing a TV series, because people just can't retain that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it has going for ultimately is you already have a built-in fan base. I mean, sometimes that works. Like I think we're seeing how it doesn't work sometimes with the Lord of the Rings, because I think even though that has a huge fan base for it, I think just because of how poorly the first season was executed, it might not last how long they're expecting.
I
But
mean, but to be fair, they kind of killed it when Peter Jackson overreached himself and did the Hobbit movies, because I felt like that was an overreach. I
oh yeah,
think.
I totally agree with that. So, but I still think like people that are even like maybe not like the hugest fans of the movies and stuff, I think that you do have a very strong niche that's a part of the books that everyone's really ingrained with. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I trying to see where it was. I could have sworn they were like, yeah, we already have like 10, like the Harry Potter series is going to be like 10 years, but maybe I'm mistaken with that. But it sounds like they're going to be going in for. Oh yeah, it says it's a 10-year long TV series on Max. So yes, they did say that they're going to be basing these 7 books over the course of a decade for the TV show.
So they're redoing the
Yes.
holy shit. So it's not like what Star Wars is doing, where it's the same universe but they're focusing on different characters. It's the same people at Hogwarts, but they're just doing it as a TV show.
That's my understanding. Yes. It sounds like they wanted to really base it upon the movie, or I'm sorry, the books, and that's what they're wanting to do. So now I didn't read the books because I'm not
Oh,
about that life, but it
okay.
sounds like they want it to be more faithful to the book. So I guess
Okay, yeah, I'm actually reading it right. I'm reading it right now in USA Today. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's a reboot, basically.
yes,
Okay,
yeah, pretty much. But
got
like I said, it's going to be over 10 years of them doing it. I mean, I'm curious how that all goes, but like I said, I didn't read the books. I don't know how much was missed, how much was overlooked. I'm sure there'll be like 1,000 people being like, why don't you know anything about the books, you dumbass? And I'm gonna be like, look, I don't know. Like I definitely read. I think I read the first one, and I think I had the fifth. I think I had the Goblet of Fire somewhere. So, but yeah, I guess that they're going to be doing. I'm sure there's a lot they can expand on, especially with like the secondary characters. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I have to imagine that that's going to be, I feel for the people that are going to have to be a part of that because it's going to be like you're always going to be compared to, Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint and Hermione. And I'm
Emma
sorry, I forgot
Watson.
the act. What?
Emma Watson.
Yeah, Emma Watson. Thank you. So yeah, it kind of sucks for them because whatever you do, you're gonna have to be constantly compared to them throughout the decade that's going on, assuming that it actually goes that far.
Well, I
So
know I know you're not big into Star Trek, but I did watch Strange New Worlds last year, and they did bring in Jim Kirk, and a lot of people have been a bit apprehensive because the guy who's playing Jim Kirk was I think it was in the Vampire Diaries or something, and a lot of people were saying, oh well, nobody can hold a candle up to Bill Shatner, but I mean honestly, Bill Shatner was a bit he was a bit campy, really, even when he was playing Kirk.
oh
So
yeah, sure.
so so I think for something like that, I mean, it just calls to it's really just about being open minded. I was looking at I'm looking at the USA Today article right now. Holy shit! I mean, they're still doing the Penguin series. That really
Why?
really surprised me because
Why? Why?
what were you remember that because they said that they were gonna do the Penguin series and then they were also gonna do what was it, a Gotham PD series, but then
Why?
that got dropped, and but they decided Colin Farrell's a pretty good actor, so he'll play the Penguin in his own series, and I don't know because
Why? It's like it's kind of like
but they're not going to get very far right now because the WGA is still striking. So
sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's gonna obviously delay it, but it's just like it's one of those things where it's like when you get devoid of ideas, it's just like, cool, let's talk about side characters now. And it's just like, cool, I don't like, do I really have any investment in, in the Penguin? Especially even the Penguin for the Batman movie that they're actually basing this upon. No, like I could give two shits about that character. Like I
I
have
mean
no interest in it.
as someone who's read the Batman comics, for 20 plus years, I mean, he really doesn't do much. He's just a guy. He's just a guy who runs a semi illegal crime ring, and that's it.
Yeah, I could care less. I mean, Marvel does the same thing, so it's just like what was crap? What was the dang it the show? Ugh, I'm trying to remember what the name of the show was now. The one with Hawkeye. Was it just called Hawkeye?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So the one with Hawkeye. So like, there's a villain in it, right?
Yeah,
That's
Echo. She's getting her own
yes,
series.
yes. Thank you. Yes. And I'm like, okay, really? Like that's what we're gonna. You want to base a series upon this one character in this already kind of like offshoot of Hawkeye. So like Hawkeye, you're
Wait,
bringing in a new character that's almost taking up the reins of Hawkeye, and then you're also wanting to introduce this other, kind of I'm gonna say villain, but I think you could kind of put huge quotation marks around that. But it's like, why bother even giving her a show? Like, does anyone really care about her? No, I could care less, right? She was in a mediocre series, and she was not even a very interesting character, but it's like cool. Let's go ahead and give her a new thing. So, but
Wait, did you watch Hawkeye?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, I watched. You mean yeah? I watched. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Did you ask if I watched Hawkeye or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I watched Hawkeye. Yeah, absolutely. So I've seen all those. Like I've seen the I saw the Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Whatever the
Yeah,
fuck the
I
name
saw that
is.
one. That one I saw.
Yeah, I watched that one. Pretty 5 out of 10. Could care less. I mean that's how all the Marvel things have been. But yeah, in Hawkeye, I mean I like the actress in it. I think she's a good actress, but everything else was just like cool. Do I really care? Haley Steinfeld was who I was thinking of. So like it's like cool, like Haley Steinfeld. Obviously we've seen a lot of Jeremy Renner. But like I could care less about the characters, and like I said, and then like this Echo person, I was just like, cool, don't care about this person. Why do I care? And then it's like, cool, we're gonna have a TV series about her. I'm like, what the shit are we doing? Like, is this for real? Like, it's just like, cool. We're just like creating offshoots of offshoots of offshoots. We're just sitting here talking about like when's the next thing gonna be like, oh cool, let's talk about fucking Hawkeye's janitor. Like, cool, like what talk about that shit. Like, who cares? Like, you just can't continue to make like stories based upon nothing. Like, there's nobody's gonna watch that because nobody cares about that character, right?
Well, I
The
mean,
only person,
I'm not opposed to them doing these series. I just want them to. Because you can take an insignificant character and and make it meaningful. I mean, look at what James Gunn did with the Suicide Squad. I mean, I never thought about these people before, but as soon as but the way that he wrote these characters, I felt like okay, I I normally don't care about Polka Dot Man, but I feel sympathetic towards him. That being said, James Gunn had the good grace to know which character should we should continue watching and which ones we don't need to see. So I'm glad he didn't foist a Polka Dot Man series on us. You know,
sure. No,
whereas with Marvel, they've just decided well Neko, she seems like a pretty decent person, and she's had some significant screen time. Let's go ahead and give her a series. Oh, and also she's a Native American, so we definitely want to do some representation. I'm like,
let's not even get into that
no,
because
no, no,
100% because the character is also deaf, right? So like
yeah,
that's like what it's all about. Like it's not like oh cool, we feel like Echo just brings so much more to the story. No, it's just like as I said, kind of a unique character
but
that you
but
want to
but
bring
but
to the table because of
but again, just speaking as as someone who's read comic books, I mean, she really didn't do much, in the comics either. So why would what sort of gain could we get from that?
who knows. Just got to put out more content. That's all that matters. You're just gonna sit there and put out more content.
Well, they said
Don't know
Marvel.
what's about. Put out more content.
So another another thing too because another thing too that I just wanted to just bring up as well is the fact that you also have shit, I'm running a blank here. Oh, that's right. I mean, you've also got like tons of other shared universes out there. I mean, the Conjuring universe comes to mind, obviously. Everybody's just
Conjuring universe.
yeah, the Conjuring films.
No,
Like the
I know I know them. I know them. It's like I said. I just find it odd. Like I just I mean I know that's like people do like the type of horror stuff. I just none of that strikes me at all. Like I just totally am indifferent to it. So
well, that's the thing because everybody's decided, let's just make let's just make a bunch of movies and interconnect them, but they don't really go anywhere. I
nope.
mean, same with the DC. Same. Well, I mean, let's not even get started with DC because I don't even know what's going on with DC anymore. Did you see that that video that what's his name James Gunn released about was it chapter 1 or whatever, Gods and Monsters?
No, I did not. I did see he was talking about Superman Legacy I haven't seen
So
a
the
whole
so
bunch of stuff there yet.
so the trailer, actually, this might be a good time to try out that share screen feature. Hold on.
All right, work your magic.
DCU announcement. Share screen. Can you hear anything?
Um, Not yet. No, I don't hear any audio.
Let's do this. Hold on. Is there a way you can do the share screen on your end?
Let me see. Um, yeah, let me. What was it called? Gods and Monsters.
Yeah.
All right, let me see on my side what happens.
Oh, it says I got a minute and 50 seconds on this meeting thing.
I don't think it'll stop, so we'll see what happens. This will stop. Yes. Um. Oh, so you have to. So when you do it, just to, like whenever you do it, so there's a little button at the bottom that says share sound. When you do it, you want to make sure you click on that beforehand, and then you can play it. So I will.
Okay, yeah, do it on your end.
Yeah, I'll do it on my end, just to share it with you, just in case that's a thing that pops up. So
I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios.
do you hear it on your side?
So as many of
Yeah.
you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe.